or comment, just leave me a message if you don't mind. So welcome in and enjoy just hanging out. All right. So I'm going to be working with this heavy gel gloss today, and I really like it. It's from Golden. And it does, when it dries, shrink down some, but it still stands way up off of your substrate. So I'm thinking this is cool, and if I want something transparent, then I can just put a little bit of pigment in and give me that transparent color that I'm looking for. So, and if I don't, then I can just pack in the pigment and make it solid. So let me get some palette. And here we go. Got my little tool bucket. All my little palettes. Go over to these fish and really build this up. I want it to up off of here, and that's the game plan, but we'll see what really happens. So I do want some of this to be iridescent, but I took all of the iridescent pretty much off of her. It was really getting confusing for me for the shading and the light. So I just dulled her back down. So I don't want iridescent in this weed. So I'm going to go ahead and address the weed first, whatever that is. Russian green from Arteza. I think I'm going to give that a go. Put some in there. Okay, so I've got it all in this little cup, all on the edges. So what I want to do is take a little bit of this green and a little bit of this ochre and just mix it together and see what I've got without the gel. Now I'm going to add some gel to it. That way when the gel dries, I'll know what to expect. Because it'll dry clear. This is much mossier than I expected out of this green. Okay, there it is. That's more of the real white. Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to throw some of this mustard in again, and a big chunk of that. Probably will. I'm just going to touch it there and just see. Ooh, that's cool. And if you've never worked with a palette knife before, they're so fun. It's just, however you tap it, you get different results. This looks really cool. I'm liking that. Just starting a whole new growth right there. Mysterious-like. Yay! This is why I love doing art. It's all just such an experiment. So fun. Girlfriend, those details look awesome. Great use of color. Thanks, you all. I don't even know what an art light is. Oh, yes, I do. The natural light. Yes, you do. I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, I couldn't live without it. I mean, I have, and I survived, but now that I've had one, oh my gosh, especially at, 62, I need all the help I can get seeing, so. Ooh, I just covered his tail. Darken that up. This can look cool under resin, because even if the resin doesn't cover all of it, all of this lifted, as long as it's poured over the top of it, then it'll be fine. It can just run right off into the rest and it'll be fine. Anytime you're working with something that you have texture and you're going to resin it, pour those sections, you know, once it dries thoroughly, pour those sections and then go ahead and flood pour the rest of it just to make sure that they're covered. I'm going to make it a little more transparent as it comes up. It may not look like it right now because, you know. Oh cool, let's make a leaf. This is awesome. I like that. I get carried away and I really need to step back for a second and just check things out every once in a while. Sometimes you don't need very much, you know. I have a tendency to just, yeah, I'm still working on her arm. It is sadly wrong still. So it's just been a process. I will eventually get there. And the thing is, there's been a few times that I could look at it and say, yeah, it's acceptable, but I know better. And so I'm just going to keep working with it until I'm so happy with it. I mean, there's no hurry to finish it. It's not like I have a time limit. So, but you know, as you struggle with things like this, if you're new to painting, you learn a lot as you do. Just don't quit. Just keep going. Okay, again, if you just joined, this is a heavy gel gloss that I'm using, and I'm working with Arteza acrylics, and just mixing the two together and doing some spatula palette knife work on some foliage, basically, adding some things around. Thank you for following. Good luck. This is a gorgeous purple. Yum. I'm just going to bounce over here for a second. All of this will be under resin. That's going to be something. I don't know. It's a pretty big piece. It may be the largest piece I've ever resin, so I don't usually do like super huge pieces in resin. But I pictured it, and since it is a cradle board, it can withstand the weight. And it was clear at that point what direction we were going to go. I had a pretty dark color up there, so, and I really kind of liked it. I might like to see a little bit more of it down here and carry it down. It doesn't have to be anything. It just has to be pretty. It has to look like, ooh, that's interesting. Something that wants to draw you in. That's what it needs to be. This has been so fun because it is so large. I think it's 22 by 28 or something like that. And it's been so cool because I can work on one whole section and then forget that and go on to something else and just keep going. And by the time I get back down here, it's dry again. It's getting to the point where right now I just want to be there. Just want to go swimming in there. It looks like a garden, but underwater, and I like it. So I totally recommend, if you've never done any seascapes or anything like that, do underwater. Don't worry about, if you're new, don't worry about the actual, sea life. Just get your palette knife and some gel and colors and start putting paint on. And when you do, it will begin to, and I kid you not, y'all, it will show you what it's going to become, and you just follow along. It just needs a little bit of color here and there to help. A little paint. We entered into this drawing for this unicorn spit painting ocean, and it's been resined, so it turned out real pretty. So hopefully somebody's gonna win it anyway, for sure. Good luck, and thank you. Thanks. I appreciate that, bestie. Let's see, where was I? Up here somewhere. It's so neat just putting colors and textures down, and you start seeing things take shape and form, and takes you into a totally different direction than what was in your head a second ago. But it's a beautiful thing to follow it along, and sometimes it just takes you right to completion. It's fabulous. And other times it's like you get halfway into this thing and it leaves you hanging. It just kind of disappears on you, and you're like, wait, I don't have the whole concept in my mind yet. So, but that is the joy of it. I mean, that's the fun part of it, and the frustration. Oh, you guys paint like that. Is it just me? Right here, dark and light. And, like I said, this will all be under resin anyway. So it's all going to change the way it looks from now until once it's resined. It's amazing. And however much of a pain resin is, it's still so worth it. I think. I hope it turns out to be worth it. I mean, it's a risk I don't really have to take if this turns out good enough. But there's just something that resin can give that other finishes cannot. I'm gonna have to do something about that. I don't know what. Now, even though I have painted around the edges, my design, just so that when you walk into a room, if you see the edge, you can just follow it around. I don't want to put the gel on the edges, because if I am going to do a thick layer of resin and frog tape it, I want those sides very smooth as possible, so the tape sticks well. It's just my process. in this magical purple over here somewhere. Don't be afraid, if you're new to painting, to go over the top of other colors. If it gets muddy, it's okay, just let it dry, scrape it off, whatever, and then go back over it again. You don't have to worry about it. Just enjoy the process. Okay, I'm gonna split. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys, and Merry Christmas. And for newbies that followed, in case you don't know, that's what you are entered to win, because you followed me between now and Christmas. So I will be doing this drawing after Christmas and before the new year, so be able to ship it out. So good luck to everybody. And Bessie, thanks for everything. You guys, thanks for the gifts, the hearts, the likes, the shares, all of it. And have a Merry Christmas. Love and light. Bye.